Hi guys, today we are going to discuss the chapter structural organization in animals. In the animal kingdom, there are variety of species. Okay, some species are only cellular level, some species are only tissue level, some species are organ and organ system level. In their development chronology, there are multicellular and as well unicellular. If the unicellular, within the single cell, there is all functions are going to take place. All functions mean digestion, respiration and reproduction. These kind of systems going to take place within their cell body, within their cell body. The cells further developed into the tissue guys. Tissue mean there is a group of similar type of cells. This group of similar types of cell within their intercellular matrix mean there is a space between the cells. There is a space between the cells to perform a specific function we can call tissue. Okay. So, this is the cell. Okay. This is the cell. The group of similar type of cells, similar type of cells similar types of cells with their intercellular matrix to perform a specific function called tissue. Mean these cells a group of similar type of cells with their intercellular matrix mean there is a space between the cell. This is called intercellular matrix to perform a specific function called tissue. Okay? Yeah, cellular level, if the cellular level, like in the cellular level there is a bacteria and protista. Example, okay, protista. If the tissue level, cnidarians or there is a organisms, they can execute their functions tissue level in the cnidarians. Later on, tissue developed into the organs. Actually, tissues are interlinked with the organs. So, there is some species are developed after tissue organ level going to become organ system level and organism finally developed in the higher class animals. Okay? Yes. And if the organ system level, you take the digestive system. Okay? Digestive system. If take the digestive system is from the organ going to become organ system. Digestive system first developed in the Aschelminthes. Mean there is a like roundworms, Aschelminthes, first digestive system developed in the Aschelminthes. There is a definite mouth and a definite anus, we can call there is a system is digestive system first developed in the Aschelminthes. Okay? And first developed tissue is cnidarians. Okay? There is a bacteria and protista is the organ cellular level, tissue level, organ system level is like Aschelminthes. Before that organ level only, the species organ level only, cellular level bacteria, tissue level cnidarians and platyhelminthes, or organ level, organ system level first developed in the Ask Elmanthis. This may be question, okay, for the exam, okay, later on. Yes. This is tissue level, cellular level, tissue level, organ level and organ system level. Organism finally developed into the later on population interaction and ecology. There is a development going to take place, okay. Yes. Yeah, tissues, types of tissues, okay. In the animal kingdom, there is a 4 types of tissues are developed in the animals, mainly 4 types of tissues mainly. Yeah, 4 types of tissues, types of tissue, okay. 4 types of tissues developed. First one, epithelial tissue, epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. These 4 types of tissue developed from the cell, okay. These tissues are developed from the 3 germ layers, okay. Ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. Ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. These are the germ layers, 3 germ layers. Germ layers nothing but there is a development going to take place in every species from the embryonic development. First, in the embryonic development, first they developed 3 germ layers, okay. 3 germ layers are ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. In this only 3 germ layers are the reason for the these 4 types of tissues, 4 types of tissues. One is epithelial tissue and connective tissue and muscular tissue and nervous tissue. 4 types of tissue developed from the 3 types of germ layers, okay. If come to this epithelial tissue, and this is developed from 3 types of germ layers, 3 types of germ layers. What are they? Ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. These 3 types of germ layers, the epithelial tissue developed from these 3 types of germ layers. If come to the connective tissue and muscular tissue, they can developed from the mesoderm, and nervous tissue which is developed from the ectoderm. So guys, listen carefully. Epithelial tissue is like 3 germ layer originate, okay. This is originate from 3 germ layer, and connective tissue and muscular tissue are mesodermal origin. Connective tissue and muscular tissue is mesodermal origin. Nervous tissue as well, it is ectodermal origin, okay. Yes. If come to this, yeah, these 3 types of tissue based on embryonic development, okay, structural and functional, okay, properties. Epithelial tissue, it is developed from 3 germ layers, ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm, okay. Yeah, main functions, they can involved in the protection of body and secretion and absorption, excretion and reproduction, okay. Epithelial tissue mainly involved in these functions, okay. If come to the connective tissue is mesodermal origin. Okay. They can useful for the attachment, support, protection, storage and transport. Okay, we will going to discuss later on. Muscular tissue. Muscular tissue also mesodermal origin. Okay, mesodermal origin. Okay, this is involved in the movement of body parts and locomotion. Okay, as we know the skeletal system and like muscle. Okay, nervous tissue. It is ectodermal origin, involved in the control and coordination by nerve impulse and conduction. Okay, this is the functions of the three main tissue in the animal body. Okay, if come to the, we are going to discuss now epithelial tissue. We are going to discuss now about epithelial tissue. Okay, epithelial tissue. Main features of the epithelial tissue. Main features. What are the features? It has no blood supply. Most important for exam. It has no blood supply. How they can do not have supply? Without blood, how they can survive? Without blood, how they can survive? Mean here a layer of the epithelial tissue, a layer of the epithelial tissue with the basement membrane. It is the basement membrane. It is also layer of the tissue, base membrane, and there is a like, yeah, there is a like another layer. There is a another layer which is connective tissue. Connective tissue. Connective tissue. Okay, connective tissue. This is epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue, which is base membrane. This is base membrane. Base membrane. Base membrane. Okay, epithelial tissue. Epi mean above. Okay, if come to this, this is the structure of the skin. Skin. Structure of the skin mean epithelial tissue we can call epidermis. Epidermis. Okay, this is the connective tissue we can call dermis. Dermis. Okay, yeah, this is called dermis. Okay, dermis. Epidermis and dermis. Epidermis, it is a modified epithelial tissue, and this is the dermis is the connective tissue. Both are together. Between that there is a base membrane. Base membrane, it is the non-cellular layer. Non-cellular layer. This is most important, guys. Non-cellular layer. Basement membrane is the non-cellular layer. Okay, this is most important for exam point of view. Okay, non-cellular layer or acellular. If come to the blood, into the connective tissue, blood enter into the connective tissue. This is the blood vessels. Blood capillaries enter into the connective tissue. They can take the oxygen and the nutrition, oxygen plus nutrition into the connective tissue. Okay, there is no blood supply, right, from to the epithelial tissue. Okay, how they can reach? How they can reach mean oxygen and nutrition into the epithelial tissue, mean dermis part. There is a process called diffusion. Diffusion. There is a process called diffusion. The oxygen and nutrition values there are enter into the epithelial tissue towards the like upper layer from the base membrane. Okay, the process called diffusion. Okay, yeah, this is most important. Basement membrane is non-cellular, the process diffusion. Okay, they can give the oxygen and as well nutrition into the epithelial tissue from the muscular chamber. Okay, the cells are closely packed with very little intercellular space. Okay, there is another feature of the epithelial tissue. There is a cells. There is a cells. Okay, there is very little narrow space of the intercellular matrix. There is a very narrow space. Okay, this is also one of the feature. Narrow mean they might question to ask you guys, epithelial tissues are tightly together to bound, and as well there is no intercellular space, or there is another option, there is a narrow intercellular space. Okay, there is another option, there is a space, there is no space. Okay guys, there is a space, but they tightly packed. Okay, yes, and it is derived from all three layers. All three layers mean, as we discussed, epithelial tissue deliver mean they originate from three germ layers. Okay, origin three germ layers, which is ectoderm, okay, ectoderm, and mesoderm, and endoderm. Okay, and endoderm. Okay, and endoderm. Okay, yes, ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm, three germ layers the epithelial tissue developed. Ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. If come to the ectoderm, okay, skin epidermis, yeah, skin epidermis, there is a series of cells, epithelial tissue, right? They are originate from the ectoderm. Okay, skin, all over skin which is delivered from the ectoderm. Okay, skin is the ectodermal origin. Okay, which is connected to the epithelial tissue. Okay, dermis and epidermis. Okay, and as well mesoderm, coelom epithelial tissue. Coelom epithelial tissue developed from the mesoderm. Coelom epithelial tissue is what? Coelom epithelial tissue is what? Okay, there is a coelom, body cavity. Okay, visceral organs are developed in the coelom. Visceral organs are what? Okay, for example, visceral organs. For example, if take heart, okay, if take heart, this is the coelom organ, visceral organ, which is developed in the coelom. Okay, in the heart there is a chambers. Heart chambers are made of epithelial tissue. Heart chambers are made from epithelial tissue. This is the walls. Heart walls is developed epithelial tissue, guys. And visceral organs, throughout organs covered by the epithelial tissue. Visceral organs covered by the epithelial tissue, like this. Heart is visceral organs, they are covered by epithelial tissue. Okay, visceral organs mean coelom is developed from the mesoderm, guys. Coelom is developed from the mesoderm. Okay, coelom developed from the mesoderm. Coelom is developed from the mesoderm. This is the heart developed from the coelom. Okay, we can call epithelial tissue. There is a epithelial tissue covered heart. Okay, does it mean it is mesodermal origin? Okay, yeah, endoderm, lining of alimentary canal, which is developed epithelial tissue, lining of like alimentary canal. There is a like, this is the alimentary canal. Okay, This is small intestine. Small intestine walls are developed through the epithelial tissue. There is a epithelial tissue. Example, glandular epithelium. Okay. So, in this way, epithelial tissue developed from the ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm, guys. Just cool. Epithelial tissue that interior of the body called endothelium. Interior of the body. There is a, like, in the body there is a thoracic abdominal cavity is there. Okay, cavity mean it is the coelom. Coelom all over covered by the parietal peritoneum. Okay, and below the body wall there is a visceral peritoneum and parietal peritoneum is there. Okay, visceral peritoneum and parietal peritoneum together we can call endothelium. Together we can call endothelium. Does it mean epithelial tissue originate from ectoderm, endoderm and as well mesoderm? Okay, epithelial tissue developed from the 3 germ layers. Okay, this is the feature of the epithelial tissue. Okay, the types of the epithelial tissue. Types. Okay, what are the types? Okay, simple epithelium tissue and stratified epithelium tissue. Okay, simple epithelial tissue, it is simple, guys, single layer. Okay, single layer tissue and with the basement membrane. This is called simple epithelial tissue. And stratified mean there is a multi-layer cells, series of multi-layer cells. This is one layer and this is one layer and this is one layer up to the series. Okay, up to their needs and a basement membrane. This is multicellular is stratified and simple mean single layer of the epithelial tissue. There are 2 types, simple and as well stratified. Simple mean there is a single layer, stratified mean there is a multi-layered. Okay. Yep. And simple layer means simple epithelial tissue, again 4 types. Simple squamous epithelium tissue, cuboidal epithelium tissue, columnar epithelium tissue and pseudo stratified epithelium tissue. Simple epithelium tissue is 4 types again, that is squamous, cuboidal, columnar and pseudo stratified. These cuboidal and columnar, they can modified into the ciliated epithelial tissue. Ciliated epithelial tissue. And as well some epithelial tissue they can give the some secretions, we can call glandular epithelial tissue. Glandular epithelial tissue. Mean if come to the simple epithelium, squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium, pseudo stratified epithelium tissue. If there is according to their function, according to their needs, they change structurally. Does it? Cuboidal and columnar epithelial tissue, they can convert it into the ciliated epithelial tissue, okay, for their function need. And some epithelial tissue, they can give the some secretions, hormonal secretion. That is the epithelial tissue we can call glandular epithelial tissue. Okay. We are going to discuss about first instant squamous epithelial tissue. Squamous epithelial tissue. Okay. Yeah. What is squamous? Simple epithelium. In this simple epithelium, yeah, simple. It is single layer. Okay. Lining of body cavities, ducts and tubes. Okay. It is simple epithelium. Based on structural modification, okay, simple epithelium cells are some kinds we discussed. First, simple squamous epithelium tissue. Simple squamous epithelium tissue. It is composed, simple means single layer, right? Simple mean single layer. Simple mean single layer. The cells are polygonal or discoid shape. Just look into this. Okay. This is floor tiles like structure there is a nucleus between the cells. Okay, middle of the cells there is a nucleus. Okay, yes, and nucleus of the cells are flat and lie in the center of the cells. Okay, yeah, location, where they located in the body. Okay, alveoli of the lungs, alveolus of the lungs, and Bowman's capsule of the nephron and Henle loop, and membranous labyrinth, and as well lymph vessels and heart. Okay, yeah, functions mainly helps in protection, filtration and gaseous exchange, protection, filtration and gaseous exchange. Okay, mainly they can function. Okay, yeah, guys, just let us discuss about alveolus of the lungs. They can enter into the gaseous exchange. Okay, Bowman's capsule in the filtration. Okay, we are going to discuss about it. Okay, yes, gaseous exchange. Okay, gaseous exchange. Okay, okay, yeah, okay, gaseous exchange, squamous epithelial tissue, the function is, first function is gaseous exchange, where in the alveolus, okay, alveoli, in the alveoli. Okay, this is the alveoli sac. Okay, there is a squamous epithelial tissue, squash like structure, there is a epithelial tissue, squash like structure, epithelial tissue like this. Squamous epithelial tissue is just like this structure, squash like structure. And blood vessel we can call capillary, pulmonary capillary. Okay, blood vessel as also some epithelial tissue we can call endothelial tissue. Blood vessel wall are made endothelial tissue. Squamous epithelial tissue is, okay, this is squamous epithelial tissue. Okay, and endothelial tissue, endothelial tissue nothing but it is epithelial tissue, endothelial tissue nothing but it is epithelial tissue. There is a gaseous exchange, oxygen enter into the capillary, okay, and carbon dioxide exit from the capillary to alveolus lung. Okay, this is gaseous exchange. They can cross 3 layers, guys, 3 layers. They can ask you in the exam. Okay, 3 layers. First, squamous epithelial tissue of the lung and endothelial of the like blood capillary, and as well between them there is a base membrane. These 3 layers they can cross in the gaseous exchange. Okay, capillary network. Okay, yeah. Next function is what? Next function is the filtration. Okay, diffusion is, okay, it is example of the diffusion which is the gaseous exchange. Okay, filtration. Okay, filtration. Yeah. filtration. Epithelial tissue are located in the filter boundaries. Filter boundaries. Filter boundaries. Where the filter boundaries? Where the filter boundaries? Where the filter boundaries? Like in the nephron, okay, this is the nephron, okay, this is the nephron, this is the nephron. In the nephron, this is Bowman's capsule, this is Bowman's capsule, this is Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule wall made up of with squamous epithelial tissue. Bowman's capsule made up of with squamous epithelial tissue, okay. And as well there is a glomerular, this is the glomerular, okay, this is glomerular, nothing but arteriole, this is the capillary network, capillary nothing but there is a modified endothelial cells, this is the capillary, blood capillary, this is the arteriole, this is the capillary network made up of with endothelial cells, capillary nothing but made up of with endothelial cells. This is the Bowman's capsule, this is the Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule as squamous epithelial tissue, okay, squamous epithelial tissue, and this is capillary endothelial tissue, endothelial cells, endothelial tissues. Between them there is a base membrane, which is the fluid from the blood. They can filter fluid and urea, they can filter from the capillary network into the Bowman's capsule. So epithelial tissue is located in the filtration boundaries, okay, and as well the squamous epithelial tissue located in the Henle loop, okay, as well the squamous epithelial tissue located in the Henle loop, okay. Epithelial tissues are involved in the diffusion boundaries, they are located in the diffusion boundaries and as well filtration boundaries, okay. Yes, cool. Yeah, filtration boundaries, there is a Bowman's capsule and as well Henle loop, okay. If come to the diffusion boundaries, there is a alveoli sac and between the alveoli sac and as well capillary blood vessel, okay. Yeah, this is all over about the structural organization, especially we completed up to the squamous epithelial tissue. Once again going to fast review, it is structural organization, it is going to take place within the cell body of the organisms, which is unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular, there is all functions are going to take place within the cell body, and multicellular, there is a type of cells involved in the to form the tissue, okay. Tissue level organs are there, organ level organisms are there, and as well organ system level organisms are there, and these are the development of the level, okay, in the up to the organ system level. There is a types of tissues, epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and as well nervous tissue, which is originated from the three germ layer, ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm, okay. Yes, and if come to the epithelial tissue, they do not have blood supply and tightly bound, and there is a little intercellular space and as well the epithelial tissue developed from the 3 germ layers, ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Okay? Yeah, types of epithelial tissue. There is a simple layer and as well stratified. Okay? Simple epithelium and as well stratified. Simple mean single layer and stratified mean multi-layer. Again, simple epithelium tissue, there are types. Okay? One, squamous epithelium tissue and cuboidal, columnar and pseudo-stratified. Okay? Yeah, this cuboidal and columnar epithelial tissue, they can modify it into the ciliated, and some are glandular epithelial tissue. If come to the squamous epithelial tissue, they located, there are single layer and they located in the filtration boundaries and diffusion boundaries. Filtration boundaries are located at alveoli sac and as well blood capillary, and filtration boundaries there are in the nephron, Bowman's capsule and Henle loop going to take place squamous epithelial tissue. Okay? Next class we will going to discuss about cuboidal epithelial tissue. Okay? Thank you.